Here, what is up, guys out there? I'd like to welcome you all into another episode of Sideline Chatter. We're here on nice Monday night, November 2nd. How you doing today, Jay?
That was a good opening, but I'm doing great. Uh, 4 out of 5 dubs this week. Always like to hear that. Got some blowouts, got some squeakers,
God.
got some toilet bowl victories.
Yes.
But shout out Justin Olson for sucking ass this week. But no, I'll take off 4 dubs. It looks like hoping for a fifth. I need a huge game from Rojo for 5 for 5, but we'll see. How you doing, Chief?
Yeah, I got 1 and 3 this week again in my leagues. So
Not good.
yeah, I shit the bed in like 3 leagues, but I got the dub in another league. Took first in division in your league. So I've got to bounce back next week. And for this episode, we're gonna talk about some standouts from week 8, some busts, few key injuries that happened, some big names, and then a couple waiver ads to add for the upcoming week. So people like myself who've been sucking out there can hopefully get some waiver ads. But all right, we're gonna jump right into it. I think the biggest takeaway from this week was Dalvin Cook, monster game.
Unbelievable.
Next, 30 carries, 163 yards, 3 touchdowns, and he added another 2 catches, 63 yards, and another touchdown on through the air. I mean, he's probably going in top 7 picks in your draft.
And he's been producing that
Right.
so far. He's actually
Been like the second best.
one of the few that you've taken in the first round that have actually been returning that kind of value.
Literally.
Everyone else has either gotten hurt or just
Kamara, Henry, and Cook.
yeah.
One of the ones that have been really good.
Yeah.
We got Saquon out.
McCaffrey's Michael
out.
Thomas.
Michael Thomas.
It's brutal.
Zeke's like been sucking.
It's
the last
brutal out
2-3
here.
weeks.
It's a rough year for fantasy.
That's insane. But no, I mean, I feel like that's the Vikings' ideal scenario.
It was like the dreams, and it was like the best meets the worst. Like literally, the Vikings have the best run team, and then the Packers' run defense is so bad. It's like really bad every year, it seems like. But yeah, this is just like perfect storm for him to go off.
And for the Vikings, dry ass team.
Actually won a game, yeah. The stat of the century that I heard that the Packers are now 0-7 against the spread on the day after daylight savings, the last 7 years or something.
And who the hell tracks that?
I don't know who does either, but that's like insane. And they
insane.
Didn't cover the spread again. They were 7-point favorites and lost by 6, so didn't cover the spread by a point. Or other way around.
Right.
6-point favorites, yeah. But nasty.
Cook, monster, starting him every week. Who else we got?
Next up, got another one you're starting every week.
The God.
The God, Pat Mahomes, my favorite player. Just 416 yards, 5 touchdowns, no other stats. Probably the cleanest 50 burger we've probably ever seen. But they were just, I feel like they just wanted to embarrass the Jets because I feel like everyone was kind of like, you heard them during the week saying like, oh, the Jets are a good football team. Like, we're not overlooking them. I guess they just didn't want to maybe overlook them and have the game be closer than they wanted it to be. And they kind of just blew them out of the water. Like, they didn't even, ran a fake punt. Like, yeah, they ran a fake punt on, like, in their own territory, like, early in the game. So they just kind of wanted to come out and just blow them out, and Mahomes just went off.
I saw the Jets. They're like actually pretty solid against the run, but they're like shitty against the pass. Yeah. So the Chiefs just came out and just threw the ball.
Slung it all over the yard.
That's what good teams do. They don't fall in love with doing one thing. They can do multiple things, and obviously Mahomes is a hack. Probably, if he's starting to heat up, he probably could finish first overall quarterback.
He's been in like top 3, I think.
Yeah. But the man's a monster.
Start him every week. Probably use him on your bye week too. Guy's God.
We have another monster next.
Unstoppable list here.
Decaf. What do they call it?
Well, I don't know what you were going with.
Decaf Metcalf.
Oh, okay. I thought Netcalf. We call him that, but
15 targets, 12 catches, 161 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean he's been doing it all year. It kind of seems almost like Lockett and him are like flip-flopping performances.
But his floor has been like really good too. Like it's like because Lockett has the week where he has like 3 catches for like 20 yards or something, but he doesn't have those weeks. It seems like for whatever reason.
At least 90 yards.
Yeah, like he's just been. He's probably in the top 5 receivers.
Yeah,
close
definitely.
to it. I mean, because he hasn't had like the blow up games every week, but like you said, his floor
is probably
This is probably
his biggest game.
Yeah, for sure. Most catches you said right.
Yeah, career high in catches, targets.
I
think yards too.
Stupid.
But
Absolutely
if you
stupid.
stole him in your draft, congrats. I think he was a keeper in 2 of ours.
Yeah.
Dry.
That's the
I don't
idea
have
of the
him in any.
keeper, but yeah.
I don't have him in any 4 leagues. I think you don't have him either.
I don't have him in any. So we're at.
He's going to be a top 2 round pick next year, I think.
Yeah.
Probably the top 5 receiver.
Yeah.
Next, who we got?
Next, we got the list of
Mac.
just great players. I feel like
Yeah.
all this I mean, the great players played really insane this week. But next, Devontae Adams. Every week, the guy just goes off.
If he's healthy, he's going to go off.
I would say he didn't even have the yards this week because I know he had. Did he have 200?
Last week?
Yeah.
No.
Close to it, though, right?
Yeah, really close to it.
But he didn't have the yards this week, but he still had 3 touchdowns, 7 for 53, 3 touchdowns. Even in a loss, the Packers' offense actually didn't even look that bad. The defense just got destroyed. That's really what happened.
On possession.
But he's a cheat code, whether it's the yards or the catch. He'll have a game where he has 14 catches and might not score and get you all the points that way. Whereas a game like this where he doesn't catch a whole ton, but he's efficient and scores 3 times. He's just a god. He's insane. I said before the year, I wish I had it written down somewhere that he would finish wide receiver 1. Jake heard it. He's my witness, but I'm sticking with it.
Yeah. Sounds like a doable feat.
Even missing games, he's gonna do it.
Right. I was gonna say, so he's played in 4 healthy games this year. 14 for 156, 2 touchdowns. 13 for 196, 2 touchdowns. 753 and 3. And then he had the 1 down game against the Bucs, 6 for 61, which isn't even terrible.
Even
but
that bad. Yeah.
So if he's healthy, he's a number 1. Simple as that.
Next
I have
up,
him
we
in 2
got.
leagues.
Oh, you do have him in 2 leagues?
Yeah.
I have him in 1. So that's.
Man, Zach.
Yeah, he's a league winner. I think the league I have him in, I'm gonna be 6-2. So.
Old.
All right, I can't hear that. But next up, we got Corey Jackson Davis. It's Corey Davis. 10 targets, 8 catches, 128 and a touchdown. I feel like they were throwing him the ball every play. It seems like.
AJ Brown was quiet.
He even had a decent game.
I think he only had 20.
Really?
27 yards.
Was
yeah.
it that bad?
I think he scored though, but obviously the Titans are showing that they can throw it.
I would say their passing attack is something that I don't think people thought was going to be as good as it is. But he's actually put on a little run, Corey Davis.
He's been solid, yeah.
His floor has been pretty decent. I know we kind of hog with floors and ceilings, but they actually do mean something.
Yeah. No, he scored in back-to-back weeks.
It's
Has 3 touchdowns on the year.
Solid.
So.
It's definitely someone you didn't expect. And if he is available in your league still, he's not. I don't think he's available in any league that I'm in. But if he is, definitely go grab him because he's been as sturdy as you can get in these troubling fantasy season that we have here.
48% rostered, so unless you're in a 16 league, he probably could find some space.
Or unless you have a ridiculous receiving core, and you don't need him, I guess. But
no, he's looking like a fun flex right
so
now.
I could use him in all 5 leagues. Guy's solid.
He play the Bears next week though,
which is
kind of gross.
The worst matchup.
Feed the beast, Henry, next week.
Yeah, that's gonna be a nasty game. Montgomery's gonna have 20 for 28. You can round it up here.
Next,
boss.
Our last standouts we're going to talk about are 2 fill-in running backs. So Gio Bernard and DJ.
The amount of times I heard this man's name, DJ Dallas, the amount of times I heard this man's name in a span of 6 hours was absolutely absurd.
Right.
But he played well. So
they each had 2 touchdowns. So, I mean, if you're a Mixon owner or a Carson/Carlos Hyde owner, hopefully you were able to get these guys.
Nice.
I know in my league with Mixon, I have Bernard. So you should always be drafting to get your handcuffs because, especially a position like running back, I feel like people always say it's replaceable and shit like that. So it's like you can put anybody, an athlete behind the line and go run the ball.
Mike Davis, guy's short, stocky, not athletic, and he's a god. So
yeah. So if you draft a high end running back, just make sure to handcuff him. For future reference, because it obviously pays off.
So I've never really been a fan of the handcuff. Sometimes I feel like it'd be a waste of a spot, but this year has proven that that's absolutely not the case. Handcuffs are crucial.
Exactly.
Shout out Tyler Jones.
The handcuff god.
Just went into the draft and said, okay, I don't care about my bench. I'm just going to draft every handcuff. And he's
everyone
doing solid. So clearly that's the way to go.
He's got 10 running backs on his roster.
He does only have 3. We start 3 receivers in our starting lineup. He only has 3 on his roster, which is insane. But
kid's a guru.
He is a guru. He's strategic, as he likes to call it. He's fun.
What was that word he used to say? Managerial. He's a managerial. You ever used to say
no,
that?
I don't. I got that bad memory. But
on to the busts. Now we have for this week. Got some pretty big names, I'd say.
Yeah.
First, we got Clyde, C-E-H.
Clyde EdwardsHelaire.
6 carries, 21 yards, 3 catches, 10 yards. First round pick.
Not good, especially against the worst team in the NFL.
Yeah.
Maybe you thought that he would have a solid game against they'd be up a lot, which they were. But like we said, they just wanted to kill him, I think, and put them
They
out of
didn't run a
misery.
lot, yeah.
I think him and Bell combined for 12 carries, I think.
Yeah, not even. Yeah, probably like not even that. So only 3 catches, 10 yards. I feel like he's had some solid games in the receiving department, but like I don't know. I feel like at first round pick, he's underperformed.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, definitely has. I mean, for a first-round pick, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, he's still giving you decent value, but obviously people were taking him, like, 5th overall.
Right.
Like, people take him over Dalvin, and, like, Dalvin's, like, going off.
See Lewis Riddick, what he had? He said he should be taken first.
Oh, yeah, that's stupid. I love Lewis Riddick, but that's stupid.
Right.
But I think it is worth noting that he still outsnapped Le'Veon Bell 33-17, which is still promising. I mean, obviously, it's only the second game Le'Veon's played, but it's still something.
It's against his former team, too.
Yeah, which you would think that it would actually be more in Bell's favor. But that being said, they had the same amount of touches, even though Clyde outsnapped him way more. But I just think that goes to, I think Clyde's a better pass protector and all of those real football things that go into that.
Right.
But I don't know. I think this is definitely a really bad game. But for how bad they are, the Jets are kind of good against the run. So
yeah, I kind of feel it was a weird game, but
it was a weird game. But a nasty game.
You need to be having more than that. So
absolutely.
Next we got
this is all you, Chief.
It's my buy low candidate for like 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Last week he put up like 29 points.
So they made the TikTok last week.
Yeah. But this week, Diontae Johnson, 1 catch, 6 yards, 3 targets. The man got hurt again in the first quarter. I think missed like a whole quarter. That's 4 games in a row. I think he's been hurt in the game. 2 he's returned, 2 he's not. I mean, is he getting enough milk? Like, what are his bones made out of?
I don't know, but he needs to talk to Claypool because that man's a tank. So he needs to get with him and figure that out. But I don't have much to say about Diontae. This is your mess. This guy.
Man up. Stop getting hurt every single game. Like, it really can't be that hard.
How many targets did you have?
3. After getting 15 last week. Make it make sense.
I was going to say, at least maybe if you had like 7 targets in 1 catch. But, yeah, it's nasty.
But he's got to stay healthy.
That's a bust right there. Next up, should be letting Justin take this one too. But got Vikings wide receivers. We've been hyping them up for a month now, I feel like. But like they ran the ball. But
the Mike Zimmer game.
Jefferson and Thielen combined for 6 catches for 53 yards, which is really terrible. Actually, you would think that one of them should get more than that on their own, let alone both of them. Kirk Cousins only threw the ball 14 times. I don't know how many times you can say that. Every time I say that, I just like, how? and they won, which is like the most annoying part. Like, but that's frustrating if you own either of them, or in this case, if you never mind, Justin traded Thielen away. But that's frustrating.
Mentioned this on our TikTok, which you all should go follow. But I think their floors are like, we're hogging with the word floor again, but they can have games like this because if your quarterback's thrown 14 times, bro, like, you can't do much with that. You know what I'm saying? So better days are ahead. I think if the Vikings are behind, then obviously these receivers will eat because it's the only 2 people they really throw the ball to.
Yeah.
But if they're doing these dry-ass Dalvin Cook games, 400 runs, then they're not going to produce. Next up, we got a Cowboy. Fell victim to the Ben DiNucci show here.
Feel bad for him.
Amari Cooper, 1 catch, 5 yards. Obviously, I think this is more of a you're on a third-string QB.
Yeah.
It's like it's awful.
Especially against a leaky defense.
Yeah.
Or historically leaky defense. Like, you would think that there's a chance that he maybe could have something. Really, none of them did well.
Gallup played solid.
He was the
like
only
11
one, which is
11
like,
targets, I think he had.
Which is the one that's like, what the fuck is like? He's been the one who's been the worst all year. So, but
I mean,
I don't know. I don't even know what to say. Like, it's
You're playing the Pittsburgh Steelers this week, so I mean, Dalton's coming back though. I think
you might have to consider not using him.
I know.
Like, which is tough to say as someone who was like in the top 5 receiver conversation, like halfway to where we're at now, like a quarter way through the season. But I don't even know what to say. Like, what do you do with him?
I think if Dalton starts, then you play him. But if he doesn't start, then I think you can. I don't think you're wrong for benching him.
DiNucci's.
That man's ass.
He tried that throw on the sideline. That was very fun.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody said that Mahomes did it to be creaming their pants. That shit was funny as hell.
DiNucci.
Gucci DiNucci. Guy stinks. But,
Who we got next?
next up we got, he should be on here every week if you ask me about him. But I think he's washed. But that's just me. I got AJ Green, AJ Spleen. 2 for 19 when he's been having a couple solid weeks the last few weeks leading up to this point. For him to have 2 for 19 in a game that they scored a lot of points. Burrow was slinging it around.
Yeah, so we had 11 targets, 8 for 96 2 weeks ago. Then last week, 13 targets, 7 for 82. So it's like once he starts producing, feel like you can use him again.
I said then you finally put him back in your lineup and you had 2 for 19.
But that's probably what everybody did with him too. So,
Olsen, I don't think Olsen used him the last 2 weeks,
Right.
and then he used him this week. It's a shame.
I mean, I kind of
sucks.
this Bengals offense. It probably could support 2. I don't know if it can do 3 receivers every week.
Well, Higgins and Boyd are solid.
Yeah,
You can use them every week, I think.
Right.
Now you're not worried about them.
because they're not even really running anymore. They're just like throwing, because they know they can't freaking run because their line can't run block. But AJ, I mean, I don't know. You can't be really confident using him anymore because he can always do shit like this.
So he has to have like maybe like one of like a top bottom 3 matchup maybe
Yeah.
where like Burrow's just absolutely gonna sling it. Like because I think this week maybe the thought was there because the Titans are pretty decent. The defense is a little shaky, but like they're still solid. But I don't know. It's another one where it's like I don't know what to do with him. Like
hasn't scored on the year either, so
yeah, I'd probably avoid him. You want to wrap it up?
Yeah, last we have Josh Allen. I know a lot of y'all love him out there.
So TikTok mentions people up in arms.
12 fantasy points. He had 18 pass attempts, 11 completions, 154 yards, and an interception. Scored on the ground with a rushing TD, but ever since week 5, he's gone down. So week 4 had 29 points, then 20, 19, 16, 12. So, I mean, he's literally going down every week. Next week he gets Seattle, so it's a good start there.
It's probably a good bounce back game there, yeah.
I mean, you're not really benching him because he's been great in the beginning of the year, but you would like to see a return to that, you know?
Yeah, and, like, I feel like whenever he plays a tough defense, he's never, like, great. Like, he's only, like, really good when he plays, like, the
Jets.
Yeah, like, teams like that. Not even. He didn't even play good against them. He played bad against them, too, but
Dolphins, week 1.
They're good, too, but I don't know. I feel like against notoriously good teams like the Patriots, like, they're not good this year, but they always have a decent defense. Like, any solid defense, he's probably not going to do that great against. And it's like sucks because like people were talking to us
MVP
like he's gonna be QB1 and
tad overrated.
Reggie Jackson, please.
Slow your breaks, kid.
But
should have traded him and not Rodgers.
Yeah, absolutely. Wraps up the busts.
It does. Now we got 4 injuries we're going to talk about. Kenny Golladay left the game with a hip injury. He's already ruled out next week, which isn't a good sign, and he's labeled week to week. Brutal.
Hips are like always naggy too, like definitely longer
painful
than they always say. Yeah, like and you use your hip for it. You don't think about it. You use your hip for everything.
Right.
Like
you get hit there a lot too, so it's like. I mean, I think this hurts Stafford obviously if you were using him. Your boys, Marvin Bros.
I definitely get a boost, but
I think this hurts their offense in general.
Offense as a whole, because like they can't really even run the ball that well to begin with, so they have to hope that everybody else picks it up.
And he was hurt beginning of the year too.
Yeah, and they struggled big time.
So Golladay owners, eat it up.
Next up, we got probably the biggest one of the week. This groundbreaking. George Kittle, my favorite player, one of my favorite players in the league. Justin hates him, thinks he's a little cringy, but that's fine. But 8 weeks out for the fantasy season. What is it? A foot injury?
Broken foot. Or a broken bone in his foot.
Broken bone in your foot, which I feel like he could play through. I feel like he's played through. I'm not saying a regular person.
Right.
He's played through like broken bones in his wrists and stuff like stuff that. I mean, your foot's worse. You run on it the whole game, but for him to be done for this like fantasy season,
brutal.
That sucks.
Especially at tight end.
Yeah, like
if you had him, you probably didn't have a backup.
I'll say at a position that's so thin this year, like that's crazy.
Maybe you could pick up like
absolutely
Ebron or some nutty shit like that.
Yeah,
but
I used Ebron, he sucked. But
Kittle done for the year, for the fantasy year and probably real
shame.
life too.
Absolute shame. If you're really in a bunch at tight end, if you didn't have a backup, his backup's serviceable if it's like that deep. Ross Dwelly. Go Google him, but believe he scored in the game after Kittle left, I believe. But
and his teammate Jimmy Garoppolo out for 4 weeks at least.
feel bad for the 49ers. It's
Insane. Their whole running back core.
defense. 3 defensive linemen gone for the year.
Right.
Shit's like really bad.
But I mean, he's out 4 weeks. I mean, I feel like he wasn't even like great.
Well, he re-injured his ankle that he was already hurt from.
Yeah.
That he missed 3 weeks before. So like, I feel like they rushed him back and he just hurt it again, which sucks. But
Do you think this? I feel like it doesn't hurt their offense too much. Or I feel like it does.
it doesn't hurt the passing game as much as you would think it is, because Mullins throws that thing around the yard with no fear. But I feel like the run game, they're probably going to run a little more.
Yeah.
So, like, any of their running backs, I mean, I know it's a revolving door there with who the starting running back is and people getting hurt left and right. But I think the running game gets maybe a boost a little bit, but I think the passing game stays the same, especially now that Kittle's gone. Like, if you were using somebody else, like Ayuk or Debo, I know Debo's still hurt, but